Back on Hittin Hard with Jon Chuckery here on Locked On Sports Atlanta. Head to youtube.com, put Locked On Sports Atlanta in the search browser, hit that subscribe button, leave us a comment. Free and available on all of your favorite podcast platforms, including Spotify and Odyssey. Leave us a 5-star review there. And, of course, give me a follow on my personal Twitter page at JMCH316. Besides upsetting Braves fans, which I enjoy upsetting fans. I do. I admit I'm a heel, even though I've got my Austin 316 shirt on. This is Steve Austin kind of circa, late 96, early 97 before he became the baby face of the company, right? And besides telling Braves fans that Marcell Ozuna stinks, that's why I'm hating on him, okay? This has been a very underwhelming year for Atlanta United, okay? And this is probably going to upset some of the soccer fans and things like that. That's cool. I get it. I understand that. But this team is not fun to watch. Take last night, you see the score arbitrarily that it was 2-1, right? And you say, Atlanta United just about pulled it off. They were down 2-0 for most of that game. Give Josef Martinez credit. He scored his 100th MLS goal. Can't take anything that away from him. But this team is so frustrating to watch. And I understand completely all of the injuries that they've had with Guzan, with Miles Robinson. I get all of the injuries. I understand. I'm not mad at their defense, goaltending, and things like that. Where my frustration lies is you do have Thiago Almada. You do have Josef Martinez. You do have Araujo. Where are those guys? Why can't we break through with our attack? Now, here's a couple of numbers I want to give to you, okay? First off, on the season, okay, from a points standpoint, only 4 teams in all of MLS have more points, or have fewer points, than Atlanta United does. They're 5th from the bottom in the entirety of MLS this year in points. They have taken the 2nd most shots in all of MLS. They also have the 3rd most on target shots. So they're creating chances and opportunity, but nothing is getting in the back of the net. They're 12th in MLS in shooting percentage. They're 16th in goals scored. They average 1.36 goals per game. Okay? This is what I say. Where's the old United? You talk to some of the guys that cover you, and I think that this team is covered really well. The Jason Longshores, the Felipe Cardenas, Kevin Egan's a buddy of ours as well. Julian Sakovitz. I think there's a lot of great people that cover. And you talk to them, and it's kind of the same kind of thing. You hear some of the things about what's the difference between Atlanta United now and they were a few years ago when they were running through the MLS and they were winning the championship and all this kind of stuff. They haven't replaced those role players. They haven't replaced the Nagbys and guys like that over these last couple of years. Yeah, they're top line guys. Almada, Araujo, Josef Martinez. Those guys are there. But they haven't replaced a lot of those guys through the middle of that team. They haven't replaced a lot of those guys. The Michael Parkhurst and guys like that, and Nagby and guys, they haven't replaced enough of those guys. So they've got the guys at the top, but their attack and their ability to score just drives you nuts. I understand you have trouble at goaltender. I understand you have trouble at defense because you've got so many injuries that have happened to this team. I get that part of it, but that has nothing to do with your attack. It has nothing to do with putting the ball in the back of the net, which is what this team did so well. And teams don't fear coming to a Mercedes Benz Stadium anymore. It used to be if you came into Mercedes Benz Stadium, you were headed out with a 0. If you got a 1-pointer, if you got a draw out of coming to Mercedes Benz Stadium, you felt pretty lucky. And in a league where teams look at the stats this year in MLS about teams winning on the road, right? Teams are struggling mightily in this league to win games on the road. And last night, the Red Bulls find a way to get it done. And statistically, you look, things were pretty even. 13-12 on shots. Shots on target, 5 apiece, right? Red Bulls actually had 3 yellow cards to 1 for Atlanta United. It's just frustrating. I don't think they're going to be a playoff team this year. I don't see how you're going to jump over all those teams and accumulate enough 3-point wins. How often do you trust this team to go out and get a 3-point victory nowadays? Very rarely. But they don't look like the old United. And this offseason is, we talk about pendulum swings. Which way is the pendulum going to go for Atlanta United? Because they've got decisions. They have to replace Darren Eales. What's going to be the future of Carlos Bocanegra? If Carlos Bocanegra doesn't get Darren Eales' job, where does he fit in the pantheon of things? Because part of this is, it's going to fall on him. Right, wrong, or indifferent, it's going to fall on him. I'm not saying Bocanegra has done an awful job, but it also hasn't gotten back to where we expected. Atlanta United was the one who set the expectations of, oh, we don't want to just be good in MLS. We want to be good worldwide. And we're winning this, CONCACAF and US Open. Okay, well, right now I need you to win the MLS. That's your league. That's your bar. That's where people in the industry are looking at. We can worry about CONCACAFs and US Opens and all that, all these other, Mickey Mouse trophies all over and stuff like that later on. I got to win your league first. Get competitive in your league. And there are only 4 teams with less points than Atlanta United. That's not all injury. That's not all because of injury. It certainly doesn't help, but your attack should be better than what it is. And yeah, they finally scored late in the game last night. Josef, let's say his 100th goal. Can I tell you, the days of building this team around Josef Martinez are over. You're going to have to start building around somebody else. There's a definite possibility when you talk to folks around Atlanta United that Josef's either going to get traded or moved in this offseason or sold or whatever, that he may not be here next year. That's kind of where it's at. I'm not saying it's time to completely hit the reset button, but you can't build around and trust Josef Martinez anymore. He doesn't look like the same player. The injuries are one of those things that with Josef, it always feels like you're one play away from him missing 8 weeks. And everybody loves Josef. He's one of the most popular athletes ever in the Atlanta sports scene. And what he's meant and done for this organization will never be matched. Nobody will ever match the impact and the importance of Josef Martinez and what he's meant. But there comes a time in every man's life, as the saying goes, that you have to start to rethink what your organizational strategy is. And this organization has to figure out, how do I get guys that can help me win in MLS right now? How do I get guys? And look, I know it's not easy in soccer. You have roster restrictions, you have salary cap, only X amount of international players, and this and that, and transfer windows, and it's not like other sports, right? There's so many hurdles with the salary cap and international, moves, and there's so many hurdles that you have to have. But here's the thing. They don't pay Carlos Bocanegra and whoever Darren Hill's replacement is going to be. They don't pay him $7 or $8. Those guys get millions of dollars to get this thing on track. It's been a very disappointing and underwhelming season. I like Pineda, their manager. He's got an MLS background. I like all that. And I like some of the pieces. And maybe this thing will kind of magically turn itself around next year. Maybe. But there's a lot of work because they are not fun to watch. I don't know what the answer is when it comes to getting the ball in the back of the net because they're creating things, but they've got to figure some things out because right now this team isn't fun to watch at all. All right, thank you so much for making Hittin' Hard with Jon Chuckery your first listen every day. Make A to Z with Mark Zeno your second listen every day. Mark is back talking all things Atlanta sports. He's free and available on our YouTube page at Locked On Sports Atlanta. Hit that subscribe button. Leave us a comment. Leave me a hate comment. I enjoy those greatly out there because they make me laugh. Also, too, free and available on all your favorite podcast platforms, including Spotify and Odyssey. 5-star review is there. Then follow me on my personal Twitter page at JMCH316. Back with you tomorrow to wrap up the week. Hitting Hard with Jon Chuckery, Locked On Sports Atlanta.